you're welcome back to Colonial Code TV. Let's look into what our Papa David Masanga, our international legal expert, what he have to give to us today concerning the conclusion of Simon Ekpa court case, the appeal, the one that just ended last week. So as we are waiting for the final conclusion, he has a lot of things to say and to enlighten us concerning what happened in court and the thing that is going on right now in Finland. And also he touched the side, mostly the side of USB brigade and other Biafran agitators that is agitating for Biafra. He said a lot of things concerning it, how they will need to come together to unite so that they will get whatever they are looking for fast and in a very, very nice way without bullying one another. In fact, in this video, he exposed a lot of things, both the thing that is happening in Nigeria and how the Finland government is now listening to the government of Nigeria, so that they will still jeopardize everything, they will still turn around everything that is not right. But what the Biafran people need is unity, love, and focus in whatever they are doing, so that they will get whatever they are looking for. So according to the headline, it says international law expert explain the legal pact of Biafran. Then an international law expert explained diplomatic immunity for Biafran leaders seeking sovereignty. The diplomatic immunity for Biafrans seeking sovereignty. In fact, he explained everything today. Just watch it and for you to understand it and for you to know what that is happening. Finland is about to watch. Like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things going on in Biafra land.
As a defender of the voiceless, an expert on international law, a voluntary defender, I want to take this opportunity to make the following closing remarks and the final closing statement and instructions if they can be followed. I speak not for power, but for the voiceless. I'm making it clear that I'm speaking in a voluntary capacity, in public interest capacity, for the case before us of Simon Ekpa versus Finland, or Finland versus Simon Ekpa. Because of the circumstances, I'm far away in another town, but in the same country. But I will make my case clear so that whoever picks this clip, especially I've sent to the defense, to see how I could have ended this case. Now that I've listened to all the witnesses, I've listened to cross-examinations, the bankruptcy of the whole matter. I'm a voluntary public defense expert who has devoted my work for defending the rights and dignity of the voiceless people across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow human beings, I'm approaching this case. My responsibility is not to replace the court. My defense, or defense lawyers, or judicial process that is taking place in Finland. Mine is to expose the loopholes of international insanity and the lies by Nigerian government plus the Finnish government who took the intelligence, the fake intelligence of the Nigerian system. It is not to insist that justice must be measured by evidence. It is to insist that justice must be measured by evidence, law, due process, and fairness. The final closing statement of mine, therefore, must therefore rise above personalities, cheap politics of what the case is involved in, and the cheap emotions. The defense case is a serious legal and human rights abuse against Simon Ekpa. Against Simon Ekpa's freedom of speech on self-determination of 100 million people, Biafrans in the southeast and the Nigerian captured state of Nigeria. My argument, therefore, must be grounded, and is going to be grounded, if I were submitting this case, in the evidence before the court, and not evidence from Nigeria. I repeat, if I were the one in front of the judge, but I'm technical, I would submit it this way. I want to put this so that in case after 26th, remember me. Go back to my record and remember me. The lessons from the past trials, ladies and gentlemen, as a scholar of international law, I wish to remain above petty differences and show the world why I have been following this case of Simon Ekpa. The Simon Ekpa trial provides an important historical lesson to the African people and the European people. To me, it is between me and Finland in Europe for failing to adhere to international European conventions. That's my case, first, and I will come to that later. The people of Biafra must not abandon their imprisoned leaders. I'm very disappointed, and I want to tell you, Biafrans, I'm disappointed with you as a volunteer handling this case voluntarily. I would thank the people who have contributed towards this at a later stage, because now we're in the battlefield. I will keep on pushing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very disturbing, therefore, that as a volunteer, I see lack of unity amongst you, amongst some of you Biafrans. This has disgusted me as a man who has stayed here for 3 good weeks. I'm disgusted and I'm disappointed, but this is not for today. I believe that a coordinated structure should have surrounded all activities, international lawyers, political leadership, family support, international advocacy, documentation, and disciplined communication, which are a key to the victory of this case. I believe the courtroom alone was one front. The international community is another one. And this is the one I want them to listen to me and understand that in Africa, there arose some people, gentlemen, who can stand and by what they are doing against African and the people who demand for their freedom. I believe the courtroom was one front. The international community is another front. I have done my best here, and on this front, I have done everything possible to expose, to give, to feed the legal team with what I believe is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, we must learn from that discipline. The prostitution case is weak. That one I want to tell you. There's no case here. It's weak. They have hidden on something called classified. But I'm going to show you. Simon, don't worry. If you pick this clip, I don't care whether whatever happens to you. What happens to you is I want you to be free. But when you keep this clip one day, you'll see how I've tackled this method. That strategy in me, very deadly. That we must learn to have discipline. The prostitution's case is zero. Even the documents that they say classified is zero, it's useless. I will tackle this case in closing remarks if I were in the court. 5 principles must guide my closing remarks. Evidence before allegations. This case is it's one evidence before allegations. You see, we have made there's no evidence before the allegations were made. I hope the lawyer will see that. There's no evidence. The prosecution has not proved its case with credible and reliable evidence. Allegations, political assertions, intelligence theories, or unsupported testimony cannot substitute proof. Stick there, Tommy, stick there. 2, examine every link in the evidence. Let's examine every link in the evidence. As the defense, we have exposed contradictions, inconsistencies, evidential gaps, unreliable testimony of fake witnesses, and above all, failure to establish a direct connection between the accused Simon Epa and the specified criminal conduct alleged. That's it. It's a case for us. Go to heaven and ask Angel Gabriel. That's it. There is nothing linking. Things don't work out. I don't know how you call it in Igbo. Things don't work out. I wanted to do this one so that people can, I don't want to write only and you read. I want you to listen from me, from the bottom of my heart. I have followed these 2 cases of Nigeria versus Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria versus Simon Epa, and it's not Finland, it's Nigeria versus Simon Epa, who they wanted to kidnap him. Yeah, until I came to a court where I'm going. You see, I told you people, those who think that I don't see, I am a grave, I'm taller, I see so far. This case, whether you do whatever it is, we must clear Mr. Simon, take him away, him home. He has to clear his name somewhere. I'm seeing. Number 3, I ask that the court be protected from political pressure of Finland government, because at the moment the Finland government is at trial. It is in a panic state. They have been caught in catch-22. The trouser is between the ankle and the feet and the hip. They don't know what to do. Why did they enter into this? The only thing to do is quit. Quit. Just close it. You don't have anything to hold on. You can't go for a fishing expedition. You can't bring people who have never seen Simon Epa. Where did they see him? Where? Any of them in the court? You people have been told they closed, classified, classified what? What is classified there? If people are doing it, there are many problems in Nigeria. You connect it to me because I belong to Nigeria. Huh? When money is not on my account, where is the money? I would ask, where is that money? It's not on my account. Go and look for the place where the money is. So if that's why you see Nigeria has run away and it wants to hide somewhere, but I will smoke it out. I know what you want to do. So this is not a referendum of political movement in Finland that you bring somebody, we are doing politics here. No. The question is whether the prosecution has proved the specific legal elements of offenses charged. Full stop. Full stop. But if it has not proved it, where has it proved? You can't say the witnesses you brought, we had him, he was giving, which one, which order, which of them were on the ground with Simon? Who? Inside who? How many Finnish nationals were recruited to go and fight in this army? Who is the complainant here? Who is the complainant? Is it the Finnish government complaining on behalf of Nigeria, or Simon violated the Finnish by recruiting Finnish nationals to go and fight in Nigeria? Anybody of them who died? Where? It's Nigeria which would have. And then if Nigeria requested for the arrest of Simon Epa, they should have also provided evidence and come here to say we are the one who requested because our territory had A, B, C, D, and Simon was delivering this and that and that. Whoa! Number 4, was Simon Epa given due process, fundamental rights, which are central to this case? The proceedings, the answer is no. The proceedings in the lower court did not give him that latitude. Now the appeal court must give him that latitude. It must be assessed against the principles of fair and trial, legality, equality before the law, and the protection of fundamental rights of freedom of speech for self-determination. There is nowhere in Europe that you find that self-determination is criminalized. Ladies and gentlemen, number 5, those who seek justice must come with clean hands. Finland has not brought discipline and dignity, but falsehood. They brought fake falsehood in the court. They brought people and called us classified information, not to be touched, not to be seen by public. But the public needs to know, and I'm going to raise the law of red flags. Red flags somewhere. You don't know me. There's the law of red flag. When did the Finland know that there was a war in southeastern Nigeria? When? 2023? This war has been there from 2016. Yes. Pictures can show way back in 2016. You can verify them from the points. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's be honest. Therefore, the evidence that Finland brought is hearsay. Oh, I had this on TV. Then you do the what? I had this. I did this. They killed this. They killed that. Were you there? Were you there when they were killing? You come to court, wear a suit which does not fit you. When you get out, they will remove the suit from you. And then you say, I had this, I had that. The evidence does not establish the required connection. That is the bottom line. My final word and instruction is this. And Mr. Simon, I have tried my best and I've done my best and I'll do my best, and I still struggle further than that. The evidence does not establish a required connection. That's all. You are not connected to this. It's hearsay. Oh, he was here, he was speaking. So he might be speaking to Mongolians. Mongolians have then been charged because of that. Or Filipino, Sindanano rebels. He might have been speaking to Pakistan, Islamabad, Pakistan, in the rebel-held territories. So which one? You haven't brought any evidence that clarifies. And in my final word and instruction, I'm not closing with anger. I'm closing with the evidence. There are no political slogans here. I don't like people just coming from Nigerian side of the prostitution doing political slogans. I don't do those stupidity slogans. We want to close with evidence. What does the European law say? I'm now coming to my favorite area. Bring it on. Bring it on. What does the European law say? I don't want to tell the judges, but the judges, if you pick this statement, be careful. What does it say? Before you make an appeal, any ruling, be careful. Yes, what does it say? Because I will catch you in the future if you rule this way. I ask the court to apply the law fairly. This court must ultimately determine one fundamental question. Has the prosecution actually proved the case against the accused to the standard required by the European law? That's where Matanga comes in. That is the standard I expect from the Court of Appeal in Finland, whether today, whether Monday, whether Tuesday, whether in future, whether Wednesday. But please tell me, did you? The lesson here is simple. It's not simply my international solidarity that has stood behind the accused. I have exposed the fake Nigerian intelligence evidence that is on trial, not Simon Ekpa. It is Nigerian government under the former Attorney General Abubakar Malami and Ojukwu, the wife of the late Ojukwu, who fought for the same Biafra, who want to betray the cause of these people. As a voluntary public defense expert for the voiceless across the globe, that is the principle I bring to this work. Justice must never depend upon political power of the state. Justice must depend upon evidence and EU law. Full stop. If you have a problem, go and look for the right transformer somewhere and do the necessary. Because if you don't do this, there is a higher court that will make me very happy. And in a higher court, there is no use selecting one lawyer to go. I will go with because I will go as an interested party. Believe me or not, I am not yet done. I'm not yet done with Finland. Please, I thank President Stab to take this message. I'm not yet done. Thank you for allowing us to be here. I have behaved so well, and I have done my job, and there is no interference. Thank you. But there, we are still struggling with you until you pay me. You pay you know, I'm not being paid. Mr. Tommy will be paid, but not me. Me, I'm just struggling to bring justice, to tell people that even us from Africa, we have a right to stay wherever we are. We should not be oppressed. We should not be subjected to unfair laws. Whatever happens here, I will remove to clear the name of Simon Ekpa elsewhere. Thank you very much. God bless you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is for me today. Circulate this clip, let it go high. That's my submission. I'm going to attach the submission itself in writing so that in case, I want some people in Biafra to start thinking also. Don't just look for power. Think, sit down and think like Matanga is thinking. I want to save my brother. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow. God bless you too. This is David Masanga, the Pan-African leader, the Pan-African, the AU leader. So he's the advocate of Simon Ekpa in Finland, and also is an expert in law and into many things about the international body. So he have a petition on Nigeria at ICC. So he signed a petition at ICC concerning this issue of Simon Ekpa and Nigeria and also Finland. In fact, he's a great man. He's trying all his best to make sure that Africa liberated, that Africa have their own freedom, that Africa have their freedom outside and they have their independence. Because what we are seeing in Africa, it is the new colonialism of Africa from the whites, from the Britain, from the France, and from many other continents. So he's trying to liberate Africa. But what he said here is very touching. It's very, very touching. He said that he's regretting and then very shameful concerning the fight of the issue of independence of Biafran state. So the people that is into it, that is fighting for the freedom of Biafra, that they don't even have focus, they don't even have direction, and they don't even have legal international experts that will be into their affair and that will be looking into what they are doing, so that they will have one mind. That what is affecting the struggle of Biafra is unity. And if you look at it very well, it's the same thing. Even when Mazi Namdekano and Mazi Simon Ekpa, this recent one, when he was talking to the people that went to Finland to saw him, so he tell them that the enemy, they are trying their best to divide the struggle, that they need to use unity, they need to love one another, and they need to stand in one mind, so that they will get whatever they are looking for. But what we used to see in social media, in around ourselves and the within, it is different thing entirely. When people will come out on social media and start calling one another terrorists, different type of name, without even thinking twice what it means, because your enemy use those ideas and use those things to track you. You know what we are fighting and what the world is fighting today, anything they are looking for is under the social media. So before you pick up your phone or you pick up your computer or anything at all that's linked with social media, you need to think wise what you want to put or what you want to say before saying it, not coming out to start calling names and bashing one another without thinking the consequences on it. So all those things, it is issue and it is a way to tell you that the people, some of them that is doing it, don't even know what they are doing and they don't even know where they are going. So all those things is part of it. In fact, this man is trying to enlighten Biafra and also trying to enlighten Africa, trying to put them in the right track where they need to be and where they need to understand what they are doing. He has been fighting for the liberation of Biafra starting from the first day to date, and he said to Mazi Simon Ekpa that he's going to keep on fighting for his freedom and for the emancipation of the Biafran nation. That is what is there. In fact, a lot is happening concerning the issue of Finland and Nigeria. If you look at it very well, they have been trying their best to extradite Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria. But it is the help of David Masanga. Is the help. That is why you see they have not done it. Because you all heard him loud and clear in the first video when he was talking about the Bianca Onowu when he came to Finland to extradite Simon Ekpa and the Knights. So you need to go down to our video where we explain everything there and where he also explained everything concerning the way they want to use to extradite Simon Ekpa and the Knights, but he stopped them. In fact, a lot is happening. In this country, you see, Nigeria, they can do anything to get whatever they want to get. They can do anything. But what is there is that the people will be suffering. The bandits, the terrorists will be buying people every day in the land. They will not do anything about it. But it's only the person that comes out to speak up and to say enough is enough, that he wants his people to be free from this bondage. It is the only person that the government used to look eye on. Then they will now send their colleague, their people, their evil agents to go and fight the person, because the person come out and say that they want to stop this genocide that is going on in Nigeria. Just the recent week, we saw when the Catholic bishop, they went to see Buhari Tinubu. What did he say concerning the country? Because of they were telling him, look at what is happening, look at how the country is being destroyed by these bad people that is going everywhere, terrorizing everywhere. The hunger is too much, nothing is moving. Instead of him to accept that he has failed, instead of it, then he starts saying different things and start attacking them because of they say the truth. And that is what is happening all over. Whenever you rise up to speak against the injustice in the land, then the government in power, they will start chasing you. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa is not an exception of this thing that is happening. So they have been there speaking for their own people. That is why you see the government of the country is trying all their best to make sure they suppress their voice by all means. But nevertheless, the God of Biafra, the God of the oppressed, and the God of the people who don't have, we keep protecting and we keep listening to them until they get whatever they want to get. I'd like you to comment down below, like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things happening. And also, we are waiting. Let's keep waiting to see the outcome of the final case in the next 25th and 26th that is coming up. So it will be the day of Simon Ekpa final appeal court case. Let's see what will happen on that day. Thank you for watching.